Hey everybody, Craig from the University of Applied Research and Development. It is our privilege to have another episode of our Veteran Stories Difference Makers. And I've got Max Dutton with us, who is a Marine and transitioning out of the service after 10 years. Is that right, Max?
Yes, sir. That is absolutely right. 10 years is, it's not a short period of time, not as long as some,
Mm,
but longer than some. So it's
yeah.
right there in the middle.
Tell us about your motivations for joining the military. And thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Some of my motivations. I mean, it's really straightforward. When I was about 9 years old, I had just I had just gone into, I think it was fourth or fifth grade, and I had went to this event. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and there was a Marine Corps band that was marching down the street, and I saw the drummers, and I saw these people, and they were playing, and I thought to myself, if I could join the United States Marines, that would be an opportunity for me to get out of my current situation because I grew up in a really rough upbringing, and I think a lot of people could relate to it. I think that it's not unique, unfortunately. My parents were dealing with drug addiction, and there was a lot of domestic violence and abuse. And even at 9 years old, I was very mature, and I knew that I had to find an escape route. So what I did was I taught myself how to play the drums. And I taught myself how to play the drums, and I played the drums for every day for hours and hours and hours, and in school, outside of school. And I saved up money, and I got a little drum set, and I just kept doing that until I was about 17 years old. And I tried out for the Marine Corps band, and I didn't make it the first time. I was not good enough. They gave me some tips, and then I went back and I just grinded on that again, and I tried out again, and I made it. So it was just about finding an escape route. I didn't have a lot of opportunities, and I needed something to get me out. So
Amazing that you didn't get in the first time after all the energy and the effort and the hoping and the dreaming, but they gave you some tips and you
right.
worked on those to get back in.
Yes, sir. I mean, the Marine Corps band is an extremely elite military music program, and one of the most elite, really, in the world, honestly. And so, to not make it the first time is extremely common, apparently.
Wow. Well, congratulations on getting in. Why don't you tell us some of your experiences being in the Marine Corps and in the band?
Well, the thing I love about the Marine Corps is you don't join the Marine Corps to be in a specific uh, job, field. You don't join for a specific job, I should say. You join the Marine Corps to become a Marine. It doesn't matter really what your job is. You'll find yourself doing all types of different things. So I did the Marine Corps band for my first 4 years in the Marine Corps, and I was missing something. It seemed like the right choice initially, but it wasn't really necessarily for me. I found some opportunities to transition into other stuff. I did get an opportunity to work with the Security Augmentation Force for a little bit, and then I was able to actually be a part of the ceremonial platoon where we actually did funeral honors for deceased Marines. And I did that for
Mm,
a couple of years, where I then actually took command of that unit and was very successful there. And then went into the Marine Corps Recruiting Command, where I really enjoyed my time. I mean, I think it was one of the most valuable and beneficial things I've ever done in my life there. The Marine Corps has taken me to well over a dozen different countries. I mean, I've traveled all over the Pacific. I'm just a kid from Philadelphia I mean, I never even got on an airplane before I joined the Marine Corps. So, all of a sudden I'm stationed in Hawaii, and I live there, and I'm going to Tonga, and Australia, Palau, Yap, American Samoa, all these different little places, and just amazing experiences with amazing people. And my time, I mean, I think the best part about my experience has just been with the brotherhood, the camaraderie, that family, and the mentorship, which has led me to do what I do today. There, our civilian population, they don't get the same mentorship and guidance that us military members really get. I mean, they're on their own, and I found, that there are hundreds of thousands of people who are just begging for somebody to assist them and guide them, motivate them, inspire them, and drive them
mm,
to achieve their dreams. And you know that's what I do now. So
mm. So you're a motivational speaker and an author, and you're in a moment of transition now,
yes, sir.
transitioning into civilian life. What motivated you to make this your direction that you're heading in?
That's a great question. It's very rare. for somebody who is in my current term. I'm on my third enlistment in the military, and you usually at this point it's a guarantee that you're going to do 20 years, gain a retirement, and live that dream. But one thing that I have to admit is that from the beginning of the time that I joined the United States Marine Corps, I always knew that it was a foundation. And it's such a beautiful foundation. I mean, the military in general, it's just such, I mean, there are some people who have some pretty tough experiences, but even still, it's just foundational, and it helps you build a framework for your life in a way that can guarantee that you have every tool possible to succeed. So here I am, 10 years into this thing, and I ask myself, like, when I think about my future, when I think about the long-term game for me, what is it that I see? And for me, I never really envisioned the Marine Corps retirement. I never envisioned that. What I did envision is
Mm.
me, on a stage helping people and putting my hand on their shoulder and guiding them and mentoring them. I see myself, working with people one on one and just traveling the world and just inspiring people to be the best that they can be. So then I had to have this weird epiphany with myself and said, am I being a bit of a hypocrite? Like, am I sacrificing my life dream for security?
Mm.
And I think a lot of people end up doing that. They sacrifice their dreams, their bigger goal for this security. So that ultimately was, one thing that our motto in the Marines is honor, courage, and commitment. And I love it. And for me, this is all about courage. It's about courage to take a chance, courage to move in a direction that is unsure, right? To sprint, even
Mm.
though the distance is unknown. And that's where I'm at, right? It's about having courage to take a chance to follow my dreams. And um, that's what has motivated me to do what I do.
So you've made the decision to leave the military to pursue this vision, even at the cost of some security, for a period of time. Some people
Certainly.
don't get the choice to make a decision to leave the military, or they're forced to leave the military for whatever reason, end of contract or an injury or something happens.
Certainly.
Um, the transition is difficult for some people. What are some of the challenges that you've had to face during this time?
Well, everyone's challenges are going to be different. I think that it comes down to a matter of planning. The one thing I could say is that the military provides ample resources for individuals who are transitioning. I mean, they help you, learn to budget. They help you learn to get different type of they have different types of counseling that you go to guide you. They have different programs to help you get new jobs to set you up for further successes. And then obviously, you get set up with lots of educational benefits. Now, um, for me personally, the biggest struggle that I face is just, you know, it's about 10 years from now, the idea, a lot of people will want to retain you. The Marine Corps, the military, they're really good at making you feel as though um, you're really going to miss it. And the truth is, I probably will. Right. So it's getting over that, that little fear, that hump there. I think that for me also, I have a young son, I have a wife, and I don't want to let them down, so I have to,
Mm.
I wrote a book. It's called 10 Lessons to Escape Mediocrity and Build Your Dreams. And one of the chapters in my book is about putting your back against the wall. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, right now. Is about putting your back against the wall where you have to make it work. I have to make it work for them. I have to give it everything I have for them in order for us to succeed. And I think that if people they keep these options open, um, they oftentimes will fall back into what's most comfortable. So, for
Right.
me, it's just about stepping full force into it and just going for it and just not looking back. That's the biggest challenge. I'm fortunate enough to have a huge support system. My wife is extremely supportive of my decisions, and she's extremely supportive of my time, and she is my biggest fan. So, there are a lot of people who are not as fortunate as me in that realm, and I do have to give her all of the credit. But so those challenges, for everyone, they're different, and it depends on the circumstances.
Tell us some more about the 10 lessons to escape mediocrity.
Certainly, sir, certainly. So, in my life, again, I think that everything is relative. Someone could read my book and look at some of the lessons and some of the things that have happened to me, and just not take it seriously at all because they've come from a way worse situation and a way deeper background. But in some people, they have never experienced anything like loss or pain or any type of just hardship. So um, they would really look at the book and be like, wow, that's crazy that you've gone through some of these things. But anyway, I wrote this book. It's called 10 Lessons to Escape Mediocrity and Build Your Dreams. And it's about 10 lessons in my life, 10 different topics and viewpoints with stories from my life that can help guide people to have a way of thinking to break themselves from this 9 to 5 mentality. And it's not just about the military. The military is an amazing career, and if that's what your dream is, your passion, long term, stick with it. If you work, maybe you, for example, sir, you seem like you do something that's extremely passionate and you're about that, that's your thing, then stick with that. But there are so many people in the world, millions and millions of them, that are just surviving. They're just living life. I mean, they wake up every day, they pay their bills with their job, they come home, they sit down, they watch hours of TV, they scroll endlessly through their phones, they play video games all night long just to feel enjoyment in regular life because they've given everything they had to something that they're not truly passionate about, but is just securing them. And it's about, there's a transition when I think it happens mainly when we're a little bit younger, maybe 19, 20, 21 years old, where you have these big expectations for life. And you go from doing what you want to doing
Mm,
what you have to do. And this
mm,
book is trying to unlock some of the thoughts necessary to get back to doing what we want to do, to find the dream, to reignite our passion in life. And that's ultimately what this book was written for.
mm. Tell us another couple of the lessons, if you don't mind, from the book.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the chapters, it's called Motivation and Discipline. And you know, a lot of people, they look for motivation to get things done. They need motivation to get to the gym. They need motivation to start their project. They need motivation to wake up in the morning. They need motivation to do all these things. And the thing that people seem to forget, or maybe they never realized, is that motivation is simply it's a gift. Motivation is not, that is something you are given from time to time. But if you count on motivation to be the factor of whether or not you are able to accomplish your goals in life, then you are going to not accomplish very many of them, because
Mm,
motivation is, I can motivate somebody right now through your podcast. You could go on YouTube and watch a video that would motivate you. You could see a movie. You could do a lot of things that would spark a little bit of motivation in you, but the real key comes from self-discipline. And
mm,
it talks about that. It talks about, well, how do you build self-discipline? What does that really mean? And again, as I was saying earlier, I was fortunate enough to have such an amazing career in the United States military that forced me to have this type of discipline, whereas a lot of people in the
right.
civilian world don't have that. So it's like, how do you build this? Well, you build it by understanding first your why. Why do you want to do what you do? Find a real purpose as to why you want it to get done. The next thing you have to understand when it comes to building self-discipline is you need to think about what has inaction caused you. How many missed opportunities have you had? How much money have you missed from not starting your business? How low is your self-esteem for another day, another year of you not getting in the shape you want to get into? Then the next step to building self-discipline is understanding that you need to think and envision your future self. How would I feel when I get what I want? Like, how is that going to feel? And it's about really just buying into a potential vision of yourself. And then the last step is about, it's about going to war with yourself, sir. It's about going to war with yourself, the good angel and the bad angel. It's about, every day you said, today I'm going to get up and go for this workout. I'm going to get myself back into shape. You said that. That's what you said. So now you have to fight that other side of your brain, the pathetic excuse of the person inside of you that says, no, take a break, sit down, relax, right? So you constantly battle. But when you understand that, when you're ready for that battle, you can win it. And then eventually, doing this over and over again will build a habit that you can no longer, you don't feel right unless you do the things that you said you wanted to do. So that's the motivation and discipline chapter, pretty much in a nutshell. And I'll talk about one more chapter quickly, which is about the finality of life. And I talk about a story about a young man that I worked with when I, was doing recruiting. Um, and this young man unfortunately passed away right before he went to boot camp, but he didn't waste a second of his life um, waiting to accomplish a goal. He went after it full force. I mean, he was training constantly. He was about 100 pounds soaking wet. This guy gave it everything he could to be a United States Marine, got qualified, and he was going to ship. He died in a car accident. But the point that I'm trying to make with this chapter is that we think that there is a guarantee for tomorrow. And any one of us today, I could walk out of my house today and trip and fall and kill myself by accident. And tomorrow will never come. It happens to people every single day. And it's just about taking action today that, there is no reason to wait. Invest in yourself today. Push yourself today. Start that business today. Write that book today. Learn that instrument today. Do whatever it is that you said you were going to do today, because tomorrow is unfortunately never guaranteed.
I just wanted to put your book up here on Amazon. So it's available Kindle and paperback. Is that right?
Yes, sir. It's available. And I think that right now the Kindle is free. There's a promotion going on where you can download the book for free. And it's a quick read. It'll probably take you about 2 hours to read through the whole book. It's not designed to be a novel. It's not designed to break your brain. It's just designed to spark an idea. That's it. It's just designed to spark an idea, just to get you started. And I,
Love
you
it.
know, yeah, that's it.
I think it's fantastic that you have taken what you've learned from your life experiences and in the military and formed a picture of what that looks like for you and how it's changed things for you. And you've packaged it in a way that people can access it, not just through the book, not just through Kindle, but also, reaching out and coaching and guiding and speaking to people as well to help them apply those lessons to their lives. I think that's an amazing thing that you get to step out of this decade of service into an even greater service for a greater number of people, but in a new way, which is really you. You must be excited.
I'm extremely excited, sir. I really am. It's because this is my passion. I've always been the fixer my whole life. When I grew up in an environment that I grew up in, it's always me that was putting the pieces back together. It was me who was consoling my mother or my father or my sister or my this or my that. And then I joined the Marine Corps and I became this leader. And it was about mentoring and guiding and coaching these young Marines and helping them grow. Then I became a recruiter, and then it became about developing the mental and physical aspects of these young Americans to become motivated and inspired and to serve their country in a world where service just doesn't exist anymore the way that it used to. And you know,
Mm.
I I wake up every single day just absolutely fired up and just passionate about it. I used to waste hours of my time, doing the same things that I talk about in my book. And now, when I identified my passion, when I identified the thing that I love, that's what took all of my time. I no longer felt the need to waste hours doing mindless things, because every spare chance I get, every time I can break free from the family, I am motivated to start my project. So I've dedicated my life to helping people identify first, what is your passion in life? How do you find it? Because most people will die never knowing why they were born in the first place.
Mm.
And then once we identify what that passion is, it's about helping to build the self discipline, the self confidence, and taking the next steps to actually get it done. And I'm very excited about it. I love it. It's amazing, sir.
Fantastic. Well, Max, just as we wrap up, do want to thank you again for your service. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and what you've been through with us now and what you're going to be doing. Really appreciate you giving us your time. Is there one thought, just as we wrap up, that you'd like to share with those that are in the military and they're approaching that time of leaving and moving into civilian life?
Well, that's yeah, actually there is something I'd like to share with these guys. What you've done is, I mean, it's sometimes thankless, but it is fantastic. The one bit of advice I can give you, anybody watching this, is simply just to identify what your dream is and take a risk. We were
Mm.
taught to have courage. We were taught to be brave. And you know what? These are the things that they're talking about. Have the courage to follow your dreams despite not knowing exactly how it'll all play out. And if you need any help, you can always contact me directly. Shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook, and I will respond and we will talk about it. And I'm here for you. And I know that that's what it's all about. It's about brotherhood. So get after it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Max. Please wait after I wrap up. I'll have to have a quick little chat with you after this podcast. So thank you for those that are watching the recording. If you are in the military, or if you are a veteran or family of veterans, if you're looking to gain your degree or your master's degree, please do reach out to us. We give generous recognition of prior learning for all the skills, the talents, the abilities, the experiences, and your career in the military. We'd love to recognize that and honor that and help you move forward in your career goals as swiftly as you want to. So again, thanks for being with us. We look forward to seeing you again on another Veteran Stories.